Good morning, everybody. It's Teepa, and we're going to be using some information to look at how do you establish the relationship for caring care versus uncaring care. In other words, just trying to get a task done because that's what I'm supposed to do. So, we're going to be looking this time at a short video, and we've seen it several times, but or you've heard it if you're listening. What I want to do this time is share out with you why I do what I do each step along the way. And it's based on positive physical approach, which is also in our book. So we've got the gem states. Where is the person and where am I? What's my ability state and what's their ability state going into this relationship? And then what you'll find in the middle of the book is how do you actually do this positive physical approach? And how do you get in something we call hand under hand? How do you do it? It has pictures, it has words, it shows you examples of using these skill sets so that we can figure this out. So, what I've been told about this gentleman, just so we're clear, I did a little prep types. And the prep was that he'll hit you. We've tried getting him up. It's not working. He's soaking wet. He's been in the bed. We haven't been able to give him his meds. He hasn't got his breathing treatment, and he has a really hard time in the morning. His name is Stanley. Be careful, he'll hit you. So what I'm thinking is, okay, mornings is hard. So he has a hard time going from pearl state to ruby state to amber, emerald, diamond. I know that he has a hard time with transitioning from the sounds of things from one gem state to another when he's been asleep in bed. So it's either how people are approaching him or he just has some real challenges and he's not an early riser. He has hard time like coming out of sleep state. By now, it's it's been a while since they tried and there was an incident and they had to fill out the incident report. Um, it's been a while and he's still in the bed. So now I don't know truly when I approach the guy if he's in a pearl state, asleep, out of my range and into himself. Ruby, strong, but really not skillful. Amber, really sensory driven. And if he doesn't like a sensation, he's not going to do it. If he does, he will. Or maybe even has he gotten to a place of emerald because he's just sort of slow. I know more than likely he's not someone who's really good about getting up and doing his own routine, which is what you do when you're diamond. So he's somewhere in that mix. So watch my approach because what I want to do is figure this out before I get within arm's reach. Because if I'm moving within arm's reach, I want to make sure the relationship is going to be one of a positive nature so we can move forward together in this activity. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen, share sound. And as you know, this is a process. So here we go. So this is between the uncaring and caring care videos that we've been showing. So here we go. This is Stanley and I. Stanley. So what I know now, he hasn't responded. He hasn't turned. He hasn't looked. He hasn't stiffened. He hasn't. I didn't get anything that indicated knock, knock, Stanley, aroused him. So I want to be thoughtful. Cool. So now I came in and I got down to the side. Now, because I'm really pretty skillful, I also know, wow, I'm approaching this guy from his left and he's turned to his right. So he hasn't even turned to look to see who's coming. So I'm going to be super careful because his primitive brain could turn on if he doesn't like the sensory experience. And he could be quick and he could be upset, and I might get a negative interaction, which is what staff had experienced. So let's see what happens next. I'm down, I'm to the side, I'm less of a threat. Now I'm kneeling so that if need be, I can move back. But when he looks at me, I'm not going to be leaning over, leaning in, pulling covers off, didn't flip on the lights. I gave him that opportunity to come out of pearl to ruby to amber, or if he's in emerald, turn his head and say hi. Let's see what happens. Oh, Okay, so already, Stanley, hey, hi. Yeah, so we're having a back and forth. So we're in a relationship already. Now, what you will notice me doing at this point is seeking his hand, because if I'm going to stay in this position, I want to know, is he okay with me being here physically or is he not? So I try to get to that hand because I want to see what happens, and you're going to see me move immediately into a hand under hand. Because okay, at this point, how you doing? Doing all right. I'm sort of taking a few seconds here to see, okay, he seems to be okay sensory wise. Nothing about what I'm doing seems to be bothering him. He's letting me hold his hand. He's letting me lean on the bed. He's answering my questions. We're having a conversation. Now let's see what happens. Once he starts having a conversation, let's see what happens for him. This is a back and forth. Sounds sort of emerald like. So his words were, I reckon. But I don't know if he really knows what I've said or not. All I know is we're still doing the back and forth. It could be. So let's see what happens when the next thing occurs. Woo. Now, I saw his breathing treatment over there. He has COPD. They do regular breathing treatments, and he hadn't had it this morning. So I now know his oxygen stores won't be the best. I can also tell he's got a lot of phlegm and he didn't really totally clear it. So let's see what happens next. Wow. All right. With just a little visual, physical cueing and verbal cueing, Stanley was able to follow my cue and pull his legs up and in and get the covers off with me. So he's actively participating. So I now know he's also picking his head up off that mattress. He's using his arms. And so, looking pretty good. Hmm. But there we have a little bit of a roll. What is she talking about? So rather than put my hands on him, which could be a reaction to that, as he's looking confused, what do I do? Roll. People might be tempted to use a physical cue to get the roll. Instead, what you'll see is I sit back and I say again, roll, and I give a motion to me. Oh, wow. So now we really are more emerald than anything else. So if you know our gem states, he's step by step. He's following along. I do something, he does something. I do something, he does something. But language wise, I still am not sure how much he's really picking up other than my tone of voice, my rhythm, my approval, my excitement, my positive. Oh, did you see that flinch there? That was a sensory reaction. Oh, there's a little bit of amber. Whoa, okay, lights on. But because I waited until he was upright and his eyes, he could close his lids and get rid of it, it really wasn't a big deal. Now, take a look at where his feet are, though, because they are not flat on the floor. They're crossed over. All right. So I'm going to pause this here because I want you to finish off the thinking here. Caring or uncaring care. Why? Because I use the entire approach as an assessment. I use my pipes. And by the end of this, what I see is not somebody who's resistive and fighting me, but somebody who's working with me to go to the bathroom, get dressed, start the day. in a positive and friendly way. It's not dementia, exactly. It's what we do about what we know about dementia when we have skill. Take care of yourselves. Take care with your skill and your care. See you soon. Bye, everybody.